know what's going on with some of the wrestling that's going on right now. With some of what we're seeing in the wrestling landscape, a lot of stories circulating out there that are not really the most positive.
Right. Are you referring to the two women that did kind of no showed? Not no showed, but walked
Oh, well,
out on
there was that there's so much. So none of it's on the rundown. This is why I love
no.
you, Dom. Greatest in
Okay.
the world. All of the Ridge Holland conversations around what's going on,
Hmm.
then Jinder Mahal coming out and talking about sort of financial management and what they're actually trained to do. Then obviously what happened over at AEW during their taping.
Right.
And we can talk about that for a moment if you want, Dom.
Yeah, let's do it. 'Cause
It wasn't on the run sheet. I don't know what the rules are.
no, hey, this is your show too, Robert. This is actually your show, not my show. So I just facilitate. So go ahead.
So yeah, so Wrestling Old Head says Miranda and Nixon Newell were not so excited to be there.
That's a shame, right?
So there's a
Jeez.
couple of things. Here's the thing: the
Uh-huh.
folks that are joining us here, the individuals that tune in every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms for Rumor and Innuendo. You're a smarter fan. You're a fan that understands and looks at the nuances of what's going on. I think the first thing that struck me about this is
Hmm.
how many people would have been read in on what happened to how quickly this wound up on the internet.
Right. Right.
That's one of those things where there are internal conversations that happen with talent and front office that are not always fun, that are not always going to be warm and fuzzy. And the hope is that those are going to stay within the confines of the house. And the fact that it was out there so quickly with so many different versions of it. There was one version that they were complaining that they were going to be losing. There was one version where they were complaining that they didn't like how much time they got. Who is it that's quickly leaking this out to the internet? A long time ago, this happened in certain instances with certain well-placed spies, and I'm not going to say who they are, daddy. That may have been some of those spies that were floating things out there, but it's always sort of self-serving.
Mhm.
I can understand in general Nixon Newell's argument that was put out there as a talent. They show up, they don't have contracts with
Mhm.
with AEW. They went out there in their first tag team match and they lost. Then they were booked to go out there against Ty Mello and Anna Jay, and they're scheduled to then lose in about 3 minutes.
Mhm.
And if you're not under contract for AEW, you want to either do one of two things. Number one, you want to ingratiate yourself to the AEW audience such that they feel like, my God, we have to give these women contracts immediately. They are can't miss. This is incredible, like the Fuego del Sol situation where it was so undeniable, like we have to sign this guy to a contract. The second is if they're not going to get a contract and they're just coming in, even if it's TV exposure, and they lose in 3 minutes, it's going to impact their ability in their own minds to get bookings elsewhere. Because you're not viewed as a premier top tier talent if you're going out there and getting beat in such short order. And they
Right.
have to look at their long term value. I don't know at what point this information was conveyed to them that this is what was going to be going on. And it's also not out of the realm to say that sometimes our friend Tony Marie Khan has been a little short sighted when he's booked talent, and they want to make sure that they're not being put in a really bad light.
Mhm.
We don't know what anything is happening. Supposedly, Nixon Newell says both sides are good now. We've solved this. We saw something similar happen. Obviously, that's why Mercedes Monet has so many belts in AEW. Her and Naomi walking out of WWE when they were the women's tag team champions.
Right.
There's you look at it from a couple perspectives. Is it people being marks for themselves, or is it people worrying about their own dollar, their own value, their own bottom line? And as we've seen in wrestling, like you do have to prioritize yourself and your own value. And it's not the old days of, well, you got a minute or two on TV that increases your ask. That's really not the case. You go out there, you don't get a chance to really spotlight what you can do, and they don't feel that there's value in what you're doing, especially in AEW, where they're more likely not to give people more time. It does hurt. So it's not a great situation. The Ridge Holland situation is extremely unfortunate and continues to be extremely unfortunate. It seems like there's a lot of misunderstandings from what I saw. They started a GoFundMe, and then he said he didn't know that they were doing a GoFundMe, and he's don't. We're going to push it off to the side. It's a Monday. We got Raw. I thought we had a very good SmackDown on Friday.
I agree.
So let's move. Let's move forward. Let's press forward in a positive direction. And guys,
Hmm.
when you're pressing forward in a positive direction, you're probably
Uh-oh.
entering the room dick first.
Yep.
Chew isn't just a tablet, it's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, and longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. This isn't about performance, it's about your legacy. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use our promo code RUMOR at checkout. Pay $5 shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head to BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this episode of Rumor and Innuendo. I will say, someone I know used Blue Chew, used our promo code.
What?
They're very happy with the results. That's as detailed as I'm comfortable getting, because I don't want to know this information from people, even if they're friends of mine.
Yeah, I wouldn't want people to tell me that, even if they did use it. But
Look, it's one of the things you want to be happy for them.
yes.
Keep it in the house. It's not an open challenge, but where there was an open challenge was this past Friday on SmackDown.
Yes, Ilya Dragunov had an open challenge, and it was coming from Tommaso Ciampa, but he decided to play a little mind games with the duo, the DIY duo, and took on Johnny Wrestling, aka Johnny Gargano. Fun match, Robert. I love the finish. H-bomb, probably my favorite finisher in wrestling right now.
It's a cool looking finisher. It's unique. You're bought in that it works.
Mhm.
It does kind of feel like if you're laying on your back and someone jumped on top of you and just cracked you in the face, that you're probably not getting up for 3 seconds. I also love that this is the continuation of why this US Open Challenge is so great, because you're able to move so many different storylines forward.
Mhm.
You got a Johnny Gargano singles match on TV. And that wasn't even the end of the story. It was now you want to see Ilya Dragunov versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Absolutely.
They're building up that you want to see this match, on top of which it's the fulcrum to get a DIY Fraxium feud going. While at the
Mhm.
same time reminding people that they're all supposed to be banding together and united going against the Wyatts, who are pursuing the MFTs, including Tama Tonga, who's hunting down Ilya Dragunov. This
Yes.
is like that. This is the Charlie the Charlie Day graphic behind you with the
Putting him
cork
over
board with all the strings.
the yes.
I like it. I like it quite a bit. I
I do too,
liked.
Robert.
Oh, did
No, go ahead.
you getting some weird Dom internet issues there?
I'm okay for now. Yeah, you're
Well,
good.
let's not go that far.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is I also like, we talked about where they were going to go after Drew
Mhm.
and where the pivot was going to be, and teasing Aleister Black as the guy going after Cody was fantastic, because now you were able to get a great Aleister Black Cody main event. You were able to involve Priest. You were able to involve Drew. You kind of want to see where it's going to go from there. Drew claymoring a referee. That's kind of fun. So now you've set up, well, these guys can't deal with disqualifications. They can't deal with countouts. It's not even safe to put a referee in there. Boy, we're going to need some kind of specialty match to settle this.
What could that be? Jeez.
War game. Oh, sorry, no, there's no war games.
Blood and guts.
Parking lot brawl. Man, do I love the terribleness of the parking lot brawls, especially the one that WCW did that was down here in Fort Lauderdale, the junkyard brawl, where people got injured. The filming of it was terrible. It was an absolute disaster. Big fan. Just looking at some of the other notes of what happened on SmackDown, they're continuing to push what feels like a traditional Survivor Series match with the MFTs and Team Sami Zayn.
Which I'm okay with, Robert. I think they should do that.
I think the Friday before Survivor Series, that's your SmackDown main event, a traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 match with the MFTs going up against Rey Fenix and Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn and whatever tag team they want to plug in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind it.
I'm 100% for that. It's just kind of astounding. I understand like they kind of pivoted obviously with Survivor Series to make it more War Games theme, but why not have a traditional Survivor Series match here and there?
On Survivor Series, hard no.
You
Hard
don't
pass.
you just think because it's too many people, like
It's
in general?
because at that point you would have 3 because you're going to do a women's War Games.
Yeah,
They set up the thing with the Kabuki Warriors coming after Charlotte and Alexa, and they've also gone after Rhea, and they've gone after Io. You've got enough people there, and then you partnered Nia with Lash Legend. There's a lot of ways where you could easily get to a 5-on-5 War Games match.
So, yeah, that's the thing. And that's what I don't like about both what AEW is doing and WWE is doing is why have two? I understand you want a men's and a women's, but it just convolutes everything. If you make one, pick one, and then just highlight that one. I just think that would be more. You get more back for it.
So the problem with the Survivor Series match, a traditional Survivor Series match, is they worked great at a point in time where wrestling fans were not used to seeing multiple wrestlers teaming up with each other.
Fair,
It
yeah.
was again, it was a different wrestling era where to even see 2 named wrestlers competing against one another was your unquestioned main event. If it
Mhm.
wasn't squash matches and jobber matches, as long as if you saw Hacksaw Jim Duggan going into the ring and he was going to be competing against Don Morocco, that is like my God, what a
Yeah.
main event. Call your friends, cancel your plans. Now, that would be one of 9 matches on a show.
Mhm.
See them team up. It's like, oh man, it's Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Sergeant Slaughter teaming up against Don Morocco and the model Rick Martel. Huge. So Survivor Series was able to meld those stories together. It was unique. It was interesting. Now we see it quite a bit. You see 6-mans, 8-mans, 10-mans on a fairly frequent cadence on multiple WWE shows. And in those Survivor Series matches, you have to pin 5 people at least. And
Right.
guys getting beaten by a clothesline or a DDT or something, or a slingshot suplex or something like that, it strains credibility. So by switching to the War Games format and using a format that Hunter loves, that's still beloved by the audiences, created by Dusty, they own the IP. That seems fine.